made Jessie go away. Hi, Jessie. Thank you for all you do. If you guys don't know, Jessie Reed is my heart and soul and behind the scenes on our media team because she does our waiting screen, she does our breakout room links, she finds me moderators. So, yay! And I am not Ginger. If you hadn't already figured that out, which I know some of us can be slow, and Ginger and I do look a lot alike, but I am Julie Bowen. I am part of the media team here. Ginger is with her family tonight, so we miss her and we love her, but you get to hang out with me. So I love you all so much, and I love doing this. So I'm super excited. Obviously, if you've been on here, because I know, what do we have? We have quite a few. We have 48 people on here already. So awesome. If you have never been, oh, I see people in the chat. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Amber. Hi, everyone. Here in a minute, I'm gonna tell you put where you're from so you can start doing that if you want. But if you have never been to a gathering and you're wondering, hey, lady, you came on 5 minutes early. Why are you on 5 minutes early? Well, let me tell you. We do lots of giveaways because Ginger's a great giver awayer. There you go. We're going to coin that term. And I like to give things away too. So we do 3 different giveaways every month, but the VIP attendees for last month's gathering, I have to pull a report, run names, do all this hubbub behind the scenes. So we do that giveaway at the beginning of this month's gathering. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. And I love you guys very much, but just so you know, I'm still trying to figure this out. So work with me. Hi, everyone. I know I see you in Northern Idaho, Georgia, Tennessee. Oh, Violet's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hi, Violet. Texas, Missouri. My goodness, we have so many cool people here tonight. So let's do this happy giveaway here. We're sharing. Oh, I even made it big. Oh, I'm feeling good about myself tonight. Let's do this. Here we go. We are spinning. Oh, I didn't say what it was for. Last month, our topic was livestock guardian dogs, and she has some yarn from her farm that she is giving away. It's awesome. I will get it to you. Hopefully you guys filled out your address and all that shebang. But here is our September virtual gathering VIP attendees. Like, you guys can't read, but there it is in the corner. And we're spinning. I don't know if Sophia is on here, but Sophia has won many times. So if she does, I'm kicking her off. Just kidding. Yeah, if I said that wrong, you just let me know. Tamara, thank you so much. You are our winner. So I will make sure we have your address and I will get you the yarn. But woohoo, that's so fun. I like giving things away. It makes me feel very powerful and fun. So most of you that have been here, we have 63 people. So I mean, we're rocking and rolling to be not already started because we have 2 more minutes till we start. So if you can't figure out what everyone's doing in the chat, we're all saying where we're from. So go ahead and hop on. We're going to officially start. Let's see, 2 minutos. So I'm going to move my screen up just a little bit. I'm super short, so I'm sitting on this like really cushy blanket. And 1, my butt feels amazing, but 2, I have to keep moving my screen to make sure my face is right in the center of it. So let's see where all we're from. Idaho, Indiana, Colorado, Pennsylvania, super fun. Ohio. Wow, this is so cool. I'm going to scroll through the chat. We got more from Oklahoma. It's great. You guys already know that tonight we're talking about soap, or you wouldn't be here, or maybe you are here because you just love us, and that's exciting. If you don't already belong to our private online community, make sure you check out community.nlhg.org. I'm totally throwing Jessie under the bus, throwing a link out there at the beginning. You don't really do that. But we have a whole private online community where you can talk about this gathering with all of the people that have been in here and know things and bounce ideas off of them. So if you're not part of that, I highly suggest you go join it. It's tons of fun. We learn all kinds of things. Oh, I got 11 new messages. Let me see where everyone's from. Pennsylvania, Ohio. My goodness. I moved back to Maine earlier this summer. Very cool, Mary. Montana, very cool. Washington. I don't know where Newport is, Ashley, but my sister lives in Seattle. So there's that. Oh, thank you, Jessie. See, Jessie just said, join the community here. Jessie, like I said, Jessie's amazing. Without her, who knows what just pops out of my mouth, and Jessie has to pull it up. Way to go, girl. Tennessee, Georgia. Okay, it is almost 7. Now it's 7. Well, it's 7 for me. It's 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 that way. I'm pointing to the west in case you guys are wondering. So let's see, Judy says I don't see the link. It's up pretty far because we have lots of talk going on, but it's community.nlhg.org. And I'm just going to say hi. Hi, everyone. We have so many people in here. We have 70. This is awesome. I'm super excited. So if you are new here and you've never come to a gathering, number one, you would know that I'm not the typical host. But if you have been to several gatherings and you're wondering, why the heck am I seeing this pretty face instead of Ginger's pretty face? Ginger is with her family tonight, and we are supportive of that. Family always comes first. My name is Julie Bowen. I'm part of the media team here. It's Ginger, Jesse, and me, and we have an awesome time together. But I get to host our virtual gathering tonight, and we are talking about soap. So I'm so excited for all of us to be here. If you haven't already done it, I think most of people are shooting in where they're from. But if you're coming in just now, don't worry, you haven't missed anything. Yes, I am talking and I've been talking. If you've never been to a gathering, the first 5 minutes before our gathering, I do the VIP attendee giveaway from last month. So last month, if you were a VIP, you were entered to win. Tamara won it. You'll see that. And if your name's not Tamara and began with a W, I wrote it down, but I'm going to totally butcher that last name. So I know who it is. And if she's not on here, no worries. But we do our VIP attendee giveaway first, and then I'll have 2 more giveaways at the end. So if you're wondering why I've been talking already, that's what I've been doing. So, well, there's still people throwing in the chat where they're from. This is awesome. We are rocking and rolling. So like I said, I'm Julie Bowen. I'm part of the media team. Ginger will come back for a moment next month, and we're going to rock and roll with her. But tonight you get to rock and roll with me. So let's see on my notes here what I should be saying besides the fact that I just like to talk. Oh, I explained why we started early, winning. All attendees, we will do a VIP, all VIPs, whether you were on the call last month or not, all VIP attendees is going to be at the end of this. And everyone that's here tonight will also be entered to win a prize as well. So super fun. I do that one while you guys are watching. So yay, it's gonna be great. If you signed up tonight and you wondered why the heck I asked you for your address, it is because of the giveaways. So we don't use that information for anything else. If you've been to a gathering before, you know that we don't spam you with a bunch of emails. Let's see. I see Elizabeth raise her hand. I will tell you right now, and I'll say it again. Put all of the questions you have in the Q&A. So if you have any questions for our presenter or you have a question for me, put it in the Q&A because the chat moves so fast, which is awesome. It's hard for us to keep up with. So I'll say that again when I get ready to introduce Beth for tonight, but make sure if you've got a question to put it in the Q&A. So hi, Suzanne just got here and she's one of my moderators tonight. Anyway, where was I? Oh, why we asked for your address. So that's it. If you win one of our prizes, we mail it to you. Obviously, if it's a digital prize, then we'll email it to you. But that's why we ask for your address. It is nothing else than that. I promise you, when I'm done with that Zoom report, it goes out the window and we don't access it again. So you are good to go. That's all I use it for, is to give you stuff. So winning, we like to get stuff. Tonight, our topic is soap. It's gonna be Soap 101 with Beth. She is awesome. She has her own business. She has a storefront. She's got a lot of knowledge, but she had a conflict come up for tonight. She should be ending her conflict right about now, but because she was unsure of the time, she went ahead and made a pre-recorded video for us. We've had some issues with pre-recorded videos in the past, so if you've been here and you've panicked, don't worry. Jesse and I have worked this out and it should be awesome. I think we've gotten all the bugs out. This is not wood, but we're going with it. Oh, wood. There we go. Knock on wood. I think we've gotten all the bugs worked out. But by the time she's done with the pre-recorded part, then we should move on to our next breakout rooms. And breakout rooms are super, super fun. I love them. We don't, we'll drop the link in. I'm liking this chat. I see all people spelling.
Hey, Julie, she should be here for Q&A.
Q&A portion. So we'll do our pre-recorded video. If Beth is here by that time, she'll answer any questions that were in the Q&A, and then we will go to breakout rooms. And I have recruited some amazing moderators for tonight. So our breakout rooms are real Zoom meetings. Like this is a webinar. I can't see you all. I can read the chat and I can see who's like raising hands and things like that, but I can't see you. All I can see is my other panelists on here. When we transfer, sorry, my children's loud. When we transfer to an actual Zoom meeting, you'll be able to see the other people in your area. And it's so important, I think it is, to go over there because you connect with other ladies in your area. But all of my Zoom panelists or my Zoom moderators know soap. So they know all kinds of soap. Guys, that's just country life for you. I don't know. I have 3 boys and they're loud regardless. And I even warned them, I'm going to be live. And I'm going to tell them there's 92 people. I said there's going to be 80. I'm just going to tell them everyone saw them running around in their underwear. That should make them happy. Anyway, breakout rooms. So you go over there, you get to interact with them, and my moderators know soap. So they not only while our presenter hop over there, you'll also be able to ask people in that group, okay, she did this, but I've done this. What works here? What works there? And you're all divided up regionally, which is important for so many things. It may not be important for like homemade cleaning products, but I don't know, maybe your altitude affects how your soap's going to process or how long it takes you to do things. So that's so fun. I love parenting. So that is why we do the breakout rooms. That's why it's so important. Let's see. What else do I have to say? Oh, I talked about the giveaways, but I didn't talk about what becoming a VIP member is. I know when Cindy hops on, she'll talk about it because it's a fun add-on and it's only $35 for the year. So that's tons of fun. But VIP members, if you join by midnight tonight, when I run my report, hold on, just one. Fun. I like parenting. By the time that you register, I will be able to add you to our VIP giveaway. And we do one for all VIPs and all VIPs who attend. So that's 2 giveaways that you'll be able to be entered in for next month. So that's tons of fun. I enjoy that. Huh. There's you were supposed to call him Julie. Yeah, I know, it's fun. Anyway, we're going to move on now to Miss Cindy Ball. She's amazing. She is NLH, she's president. Yes, it is mom life. They're such goobers, such goobers. So Cindy, come tell us all about the happiness that you have to share with us tonight.
I remember those days. I have 6 kids, and yes, when you really needed them to behave, yeah, no. So good for you, Julie. You're doing a great job. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being on here. We are almost at 100 women that are on our virtual gathering tonight, and super, super excited to have you all here. Soap making, one of my favorite topics. Yeah, and in fact, I was telling your friend, you've been doing soap for almost 30 years. And it's like, yeah, but you always learn something. You always learn something tonight. So why does LHG exist, or NLHG, the National Ladies Homestead Gathering, exists to empower women through homesteading and feel more secure in who they are and feel confident in what they're doing, and give them an opportunity to provide for their family through growing animals or growing food. It's just an amazing lifestyle. And so we want to know that you are supported and encouraged, and we are your biggest fans here at NLHG as you endeavor on this journey of homesteading. And how do we empower women through homesteading? We share knowledge. That's why we have this virtual gathering for those of you who are not able to be connected to a local chapter. And within the local chapter, we share that knowledge in lots of ways with a speaker that comes in once a month, or just friend to friend. It's just amazing. But sharing that knowledge is so, so important. And then we build community. And through that sharing of knowledge, you start making connections and meeting new people, and you start building that community. And I have just seen over the years that I've been doing this, that community is central to your success as a homesteader. And so the more you put into your community, the more you receive, and the greater you grow. And speaking of growing, that's our third component, is growing friendship. My closest friends I met through the National Ladies Homestead Gathering, and those that helped me start this whole organization at the very beginning in 2011 are still my closest friends. And so we've been through a lot together, not just building a nonprofit organization, but building homesteads, going through life, raising children, homeschooling, marrying off, having grandchildren. Yeah, it's been fun doing it with other like-minded women. So it's been fantastic. One of the things I wanted to tell you about tonight, actually two things. We do have our own National Ladies Homestead Gathering store. Jesse's going to put the link up in the chat for you. But if you're looking for all the fabulous merchandise that says National Ladies Homestead Gathering, because you're so excited to just shout out to the whole country about the National Ladies Homestead Gathering, then you can get your merchandise there with our logo on it and wear it proudly. I was saying I've been doing lives on Facebook every day for the last 25 days. I'm going up to 30. That was my goal. And just sharing, I just finished driving across country from Montana to Pennsylvania. I got here yesterday. And just all the across the country who are trying to make a go at providing for their family through the homesteading lifestyle. And just my heart just is like exploding, whatever, thinking about all these women and the fact that we need to be reaching out to them. And the way that that happens, allowing us to reach that out, is through your membership. Your $35 a month, or sorry, I always say that wrong. Your $35 a year. Even at $35 a month, you still get a lot for that $35, but more so in a year. And that helps us reach women everywhere. Tomorrow, I'm headed to Virginia to meet up with some others. We're going to Homesteaders of America. And I am so excited to meet all the women that will be coming there and to share what we offer in a face-to-face community. So with your membership, not only are you helping us get the word out to other women who are looking for like-minded community, but we are also able to pay for our website and the insurance and the Zoom, but all the little costs that takes to run this organization. And just for those of you that are new, none of us who are on here that you see have ever been paid a dime. It's all volunteer, and I am forever grateful and humbled by the amazingly gifted women who choose to gift their time to us in order to see this mission happen and to get the word out about what we offer at NLHG. So thank you all for being on here again. Please sign up for your membership. And there's an extra perk. Next month is our Member Appreciation Month. And all of you who are in our registry as a VIP member, your names will be in the drawing. We are getting really special gifts from Roots and Harvest. And if your name is picked, we will mail one of those to you. And I can promise you it's not just a $10 widget. These are worth putting your name into the to the stack for winning these prizes. So huge thank you to Roots and Harvest for sponsoring our Membership Appreciation Month, and that's November. And so anyways, Julie, you ready? I'm handing it back to you.
I'm always ready. Here I am. Here I am. You just never know what. Now the boys have let our potbelly pig in, so they're outside, but now the pig's inside. So it's super entertaining. Like I talked about our private online community, it is awesome and I love it. And part of the one fun thing that I just love that we do on there is that we do Atta Girls every month. And every month on there, Miranda or Cameron get on there and they say, Tell us what you're proud of. Say what you've done. Give us an accomplishment. And it may be a failure that we learned something from. And tonight, Miranda is traveling to our next event because we have an event this weekend. And so we get the amazing Cameron. She's going to come on and share our Avid Girls. There she is. She's my next contestant.
Hey, Julie, good to see you. Well, this is also my favorite too. So let's get started. Tammy Vale, we have canned 34 quarts of red potatoes, 14 1.5 pint jars of green beans, 17 half-pint jars of maple vanilla apple butter, 14 quarts of tomato sauce, 7 pints of diced tomatoes. Oh my gosh, I'm getting tired just reading. I still need to can chicken and beef, but have not found a sale I would call a sale yet. I hear that, girl. We just moved to our area 1st of June, so still finding markets and never got a garden in. Gathering some walnuts from property and chestnuts. Squirrels beat me to the few pecans. Tammy, you are doing awesome. Atta girl. And let's see, Christine Ingraham. With the help of our son-in-law and 2 of his close friends, we were able to get one of our outbuildings, the cabin, gutted, new windows installed and prepped for drywall, etc. It will have 4 rooms, my husband's office, my craft and prep room, a workshop area, and an area for our new deep freezer, and an extra bathroom. It was a scary place for me to go into before. I hate rodents. And now I can see it shaping up. Woohoo! Now on to the next huge project, the Kwanzaa hut. Hard work, but exciting. Wow, Christine, that sounds awesome. I want to come see. Let's see, Debbie McFall. I canned 15 pints of black beans. I paid $3.67 for 3 pounds. That comes to 24 cents a pint. A can of bush black beans was $1.47 at Walmart, so I saved $18.38 for a little time and effort. Way to go, girl. Let's see, we've got Maria Murphy. I canned half a pantry in 3 weeks. Maria, wow. 20 flats of pints and quarts. That isn't the Atta girl, though. The Atta girl is my grumpy old man husband, who gave me grief the first week of this, went grocery shopping with me, took one look at the prices and completely changed his tune. Now when he leaves the house without me saying a word, he comes home with flats of wide mouth jars and half bushels of deals he found. Atta girl. That a boy, too. Awesome. Gareth Crosby. It's breeding season for the goats, and this year I was prepared with all the right food, medications, paddocks, and hay to separate the goats into breeding and non-breeding groups. We look forward to a bunch of cashmere kids in March. Gareth, that sounds so cool. Let's see, Dania Warminer attempted the Every Bite Counts to preserve something every day in September. Missed some days, but got quite a few items preserved and processed. That's amazing. Good for you. Okay, let's see. We have Tandy Brown. We have a problem with our neighboring landowner aerial spraying herbicides in the spring and early summer. The overspray always damaged our garden, so we did not plant a garden this year after past years of putting time and money into planting, and the plants ended up harmed by the spray so badly that they would never produce. That's so frustrating. But in August, I decided to try something different and plant a few tomato plants of varieties that ripen in 60 days or less. Well, my plants are flowering and I have a few baby tomatoes as of the end of September. If the frost holds off and we get some tomatoes, I will start doing this every year. We miss having homegrown tomatoes most of all. Yeah, homegrown tomatoes are the best, aren't they? Atta girl, Tandy. And I think we have time for one more. Diana Harder had a busy month. I used a comfrey poultice on my son's mountain biking injury, and it really made a difference. I pulled a trailer for the first time. It was around a hayfield, but it's a start. I canned corn, green beans, and beets. I healed a chicken's bumblefoot. I made crackers from my sourdough discard. I sewed cloth napkins and unpaper towels, and I got goats. Diana, that's awesome. I'm especially impressed by you pulling a trailer. That's something I can't do. Maybe I'll try and follow in your footsteps. Back to you, Julie.
Here I am. Awesome. And at a girl, man, like I said, that online community freaking rock. I love them.
It's
They're
awesome.
so, and it's fun to be inspired. I think it's great. So thanks so much, Cameron. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Julie.
All right, so we are getting ready to start this main shebang, and I know that's why you guys are here. And luckily, Beth, our presenter, like I said, she made a recording for us. She's already here, so she'll be able to answer all of their questions by the end of this, and I'm super excited for that. Before I get started, which I got like this much time, so I'm gonna go real fast. If you are already a VIP member, an email went out today that is super important to me. It's super important to Jesse, that if you guys could please respond to it, it would mean a lot to us. We are planning next year's gatherings, and we really like doing these once a month gatherings for everyone. So it gives you a chance to list topics. Let us know if you're willing to teach a class, which would be awesome. But if there's so, oh, tiny, sorry, I read the chat and I shouldn't, I know other people can do that. And if you can respond to that, we would so appreciate it. It gives us an idea of what you all are looking for. We want these to be meaningful for you, just like they're meaningful for us. So if you could fill that out and send it back, we would be super thankful for that. Beth, do you want to introduce yourself? I know we're going to do your recording, but do you want to go ahead and pop on and introduce yourself? If she doesn't hop on, then I'll just say it was me. We'll give her a second. No. Okay. Beth Mason is our presenter tonight. And like I said, she had a conflict, so she wasn't sure. So she made, oh, there she is.
Can you hear me? I didn't know what I was doing.
Just go ahead and say who you are, and then I'll have Jesse go ahead and throw up your recording.
Yeah, I had a conflict tonight. I'm so sorry. I didn't have any control over it. So I did pre-record that, hey, my name is Beth Mason. I've been making soap for about 4 years. I'm the owner of We Made This, which is my brand where I make my bath and body products, and Made It on Main, which is my brick and mortar shop where I sell my products and also products from a few other people. I was so excited to do this tonight. I'm also mortified. I made a big mistake in my video, but I made it work. And I think it's a good lesson in that don't take it too seriously. You can always make adjustments and you can make it work. So know that I do know how to make soap. I just had a little bit of a boo-boo, but that's okay.
Totally fine. That just shows us that even if you've been doing it forever, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes all the time. So no worries. All right, Jesse, are you ready to throw up? That sounds gross. To put our recording up for us? Let's see.
Ready to rock and roll.
Let's do this.
Hey guys, my name is Beth Mason. I'm the owner of We Made This and Made It on Main. We Made This is my line of homemade bath and body products. I make soaps and lotions and sugar scrubs, lip balms, all sorts of great things. And Made It on Main is my brick and mortar store where I sell my products and also some of my sister's products. She makes some wax melts, other good things. The plan for tonight was for me to do a live soap demonstration. Super excited about it, had it all planned out. And then I had a conflict come up. So you guys are gonna see a pre-recorded video of me making soap. And then I'll be here live afterwards to do a Q&A and some breakout rooms. But we had to pre-record it. But I'm glad that I did because you'll see that I made a mistake. It's the first time I've ever made this mistake. I've been making soap for 4 years. So I had to edit the video quite a bit to get it to a much shorter time period so that you weren't watching me make soap all night long and I wasn't panicking. So, but that just goes to show you when you're making soap, you can make mistakes. And it'll probably be fine. You'll probably have soap in the end. It's not a big deal. Have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. The soap that you're going to be seeing me make is a homemade stain stick. It's not a body soap. It's a really great soap for washing dishes. I call it stain stick because it's an amazing laundry pre-treat. If you have grease stains in your clothes, it takes it out fantastically. I chose to make this soap for a couple reasons. One is when I planned to do this live, there was really no way I was going to be able to make my regular body soap in a live video. It just takes too long. I've got to melt the oils, then let them cool down. I've got to get the lye solution, let it cool down. It takes a really long time, and then it has to sit 24 to 48 hours in the mold before I can get it out of the mold. So that was just going to be really hard to do live. But also, the hardest thing about making soap in the beginning for me as a completely impatient person was that soap making takes so long. You have to be patient. So with this soap, you make it and you pop it in your refrigerator for about 3 hours, and then you take it out and you cut it. And you have to cut it then, because otherwise it's gonna set up and it's gonna be really hard to cut. This is a 100% coconut oil soap, so easy for you to get the ingredients for. You don't have to wait 24 to 48 hours to get out of the mold. And then, because you're not using it on your body, you don't have to wait for it to cure. So you can use it right away, because otherwise, when you're making body soap, you have to let it cure for 4 to 6 to 8 to even longer, depending on what type of oils that you use. So hopefully you enjoy this, and this is a fun recipe that you can use to play with the art of soap making, and the end product is fantastic. I love our stain stick. I actually use it to wash dishes. It's just a great overall cleaning bar, which if you're into cleaning without chemicals, this is perfect. So enjoy, and I will see you afterwards. When I recorded this, I was talking while I was working, but I wasn't very happy with how that audio turned out, so now I'm dubbing over. So my hand motions may not 100% line up with what I'm saying, but we're gonna make it work. When you are making soap, there's just a few things that you're gonna need. The first thing is some sort of mold to make your soap in. This one that I'm showing you here is one that I have that's really nice, and it's quite large. I have that because I make soap professionally that I sell. You can see it has a silicone mold like I'm showing you here, or it has a silicone insert. But you do not need something this big or this nice. There's lots of other options that you could do that are much more affordable. They sell small, I think they're 2-pound molds on Amazon. You can get individual silicone molds like I'm showing you here. But even if you just have a wooden or plastic box that you line with parchment paper, that'll work just fine. Something else that you're gonna need is a scale. I'm pointing out there how dirty and gross mine is, but I use it a lot and I've had it for a long time. You are also going to need bowls and spoons, which should pop up here on the screen soon. There they are. You want to make sure that your plastic bowls that you're using can withstand the heat that is going to happen when you use lye. It gets quite hot. You're also going to need a stick blender, which I forget to show you in this opening scene, but you'll see it later. Ingredient wise, you're going to need some lye. If you're making bar soap, you need to get sodium hydroxide. There is also potassium hydroxide, which you would use to make liquid soap. So you need to make sure that you have the right kind of lye. Even drain cleaner, if it's 100% lye, that is sodium hydroxide, and it's perfectly fine to use. That's what I used in the beginning. I now buy it in bulk, and it's a lot cheaper for me to get it from soaping websites, but drain cleaner works perfectly fine as long as it's 100% lye. You're also going to need butters or oils, whatever you're wanting to make your soap with, and you're going to need water.
This is me showing you how to use a soap calculator. I'm going to cut most of this section out, mostly because I could do an entire hour presentation on formulating soap and using a soap calculator. And for purposes of this presentation, it's just too much to include. So just know that when you're making soap, that you do need to understand how to use a soap calculator. And if you want more help on that, I would be happy to help you. There are also really great YouTube videos about using a soap calculator. Just know that it's a really important part of making soap, and you should understand how to use the soap calculator. But I'm going to cut most of this out so that I don't talk to you for 3 hours tonight. For the purpose of this video, really all you need to understand about what I was doing in the soap calculator is that the soap that we're making is a 100% coconut oil soap. We're not making a body bar with this recipe. We're making a cleaning bar, something that I call a stain stick. So the information that I'm putting in there is that we're making a bar soap. So it has the sodium hydroxide. The next tab that we go over in the soap calculator is something called superfatting. And superfatting refers to how much oil is left over in your final product, how much oil is not saponified. Why would you want oil left over? Well, because if you don't superfat your soap, and all of the oil is saponified, your end soap will be pretty drying to your skin. It'll give you that squeaky, clean, tight feeling, which is actually not a very pleasant feeling. So superfatting is important. But for this bar that we're making, we don't want a super fat because we're making not a bar for our body. We're making a cleaning soap. So this soap is 0% super fatted. There should be no remaining oil left in our soap. The other things that you put in the soaping calculator, you put in how much water you're going to use, how big of a batch you need, you pick the oils that you use. That's basically really all you need to know for this purposes of this video. It's 100% coconut oil, super fatted at 0. Once we're done with the soap calculator, it gives us our recipe. So it tells me how much water to use, how much oil, and how much lye. So we're going to start weighing everything out. Those fancy jazz hands that I just did was me pointing out that you should do what I say and not necessarily what I do in this video. When you make soap, you should be wearing gloves, long sleeves, and eye protection, closed-toed shoes. You can splash that lye solution around, and later in this video, you're gonna see batter splash around. If that batter or that lye solution touches your skin, the lye can and will burn you. So you should really protect yourself. I've been making soap for a really long time. In the beginning, I wore gloves and the long sleeves, but I'm gonna be really honest, I have sensory issues and I hate the way the gloves feel, and I've been burned by lye many times and it mostly just feels like itching to me. So I elect not to wear the gloves, and I forgot to wear long sleeves today. So do what I say, not what I do. Please protect yourself and be safe. So here we're just measuring out the water. You should be using distilled water when you make soap. If you have to use tap water, it's not the end of the world. There are just minerals and other things in tap water that make it hard to control the end product. So if you can, you should be using distilled water. We weigh out the water per what the soap calculator told us we should be using. And I actually, when I was making this, got a little bit too much water. You don't have to be completely precise with your water. It's okay if you have a little bit more or a little bit extra than what the calculator says, but you'll see at the end, towards the end, that I probably should have poured that extra water back because it took a really long time for the soap to set up because I had too much water. Now we're gonna measure out the lye. You really should be precise with your lye. And err on the side of having not enough versus too much lye. So the lye that I have is beads. You can find lye in a couple different forms. Beads and flakes are the two most common that I see. I actually prefer the flakes. You'll probably be able to see when I start pouring this lye out that the beads kind of get some static going on with the plastic bowls. It's kind of annoying. But the beads do dissolve quicker in water, so that's the positive of having the beads. And if you find that your lye is too staticky, you can also rub like a dryer sheet inside your bowl. So here I am pouring it in and weighing it out. I know you can't see the weight on my scale, but I'm just weighing out that lye, and you'll see I got too much. So I need to put some back. And I didn't have a spoon handy, so here's me awkwardly scooping it out with a spatula. It's not the most effective. I didn't want to pour it directly from the bowl back into the container because it was really staticky and I didn't think that was going to work super well, but this also didn't work super well. But I did get it to the exact measurement that I needed. So then we moved on to our oil. I did speed this section up of me putting the coconut oil in the bowl because it drug on for quite a while and it is just me putting coconut in a bowl. I buy my coconut oil in bulk from a wholesaler, but you can get coconut oil just at the grocery store or anywhere. I used to buy coconut oil from Big Lots because they had a great deal on it. I apologize for the video flipping. My son actually called me in the middle of that, and then when I started re-recording, for some reason the rest of the video is in mirrored. I clearly don't know what I'm doing, but so sorry about that. Here's me scraping out. Got a little bit too much oil. You can't see my scale, but I'm weighing this all out. So just putting coconut oil back in its tub. And now everything's all weighed out. So you'll see here, I'm grabbing the water and the lye, and I'm getting ready to make my lye solution. It's really important when you do this that you add the lye into the water and not the other way around. You don't want to be adding water into your lye. You want to be slowly adding that lye into your water, and I kind of stir in between, just making sure that everything's getting dissolved in there. As you're doing this, you're going to see your water gets a little bit cloudy. It will clear up. And also the chemical reaction that's happening, that water is going to get pretty hot. So I've got all of that in there and I've got it combined. And I'm just stirring that up to make sure it's nice and combined. You can't really see in the video, but also in that chemical reaction, you can see it every once in a while if you look closely. You get some gassing that happens. It looks like steam coming up. It's important you don't breathe that in. It will make you cough and it will hurt. So make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. Maybe open a window if you're really worried about it. You can see me there tapping to see how hot it is, and it was quite hot. But you can also wear like a cloth mask you have from your pandemic days, and that helps you not breathe that in. I stand back as far as I can when I'm stirring that in. And I also make sure that my kids don't come in while I'm adding in the lye, or that they're aware that I'm adding in the lye so that they can stand back and aren't breathing in those chemicals. So I am pulling that to the side, bringing back out my oils, and I'm going to use the heat transfer method in this video. That just means I am adding the hot lye right into the oil, and I'm going to have the hot lye solution melt the oils. I'm doing it this way so that you guys can see the whole process. It's a lot faster than melting down my oils and letting them come to room temperature, letting the lye come to room temperature. I only use this method when I'm making this specific recipe. Typically, I melt down my hard oils. In the microwave, I let them sit, let them come back to room temperature, or close to room temperature. They can't come all the way back to room temperature, or they will just harden back up. And I let my lye come down to at least 100 degrees. The lye was probably, I didn't temp it, but it was probably near at least 180 when I added it in here. You can see that it's melting down that coconut oil, and I'm kind of squishing it to make smaller pieces so that it melts faster. And just melting down that oil. Even though this is a little bit faster of a process, it does take some patience as you stir it all around and melt everything down. You have to be careful while you're stirring not to flick things out of the bowl so that you're not getting lye everywhere. And I'm going to speed the rest of this up just a little bit more. Ooh, look at that. Super quick, speedy stirring that I'm doing there. This is sped up to about 4 times regular. But I figure there's only so much time that you want to watch me stir the lye solution into the coconut oil. So once this is all melted down, we're going to stick blend it. And as I said earlier, I add a little bit too much water in this one. So I'm also going to speed up that stick blending process because you probably don't want to watch that for as long as it took me either. But here I am. It's almost done, almost all melted in. I was kind of squishing some remaining bits over to the side. And we're gonna get the stick blender out here in a second so we can stick blend this. And there she is. break in here for a second because it was in this exact moment of editing this video when I realized why it took my soap so long to emulsify and why I had to blend it for so long. And that is because in the video, I'm using the wrong attachment on my stick blender. I've been making soap for a long time. And so yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. That is not the right attachment on my stick blender. So it did work. This is just to say you can mess up while you're making soap and the end result will be fine. It worked out fine. But I would not have had to blend as long as I did. And I also couldn't figure out why my soap was like flinging around so much. It's because I was using the wrong attachment. Welcome to my life. This is just kind of how I am as a person. Hot mess. But yeah, so I guess if you have that kind of blender, you can use that attachment, but that's not the right thing. So we're back. Here's me blending my soap with the complete wrong attachment. It's fine. It worked out. This is sped up to 4 times as well because
Uh-oh, Jesse, our video went away. What happened? Sometimes technology.
My apologies, a technical error. I'll have it right back up.
You're fine. So, like I said, Beth, I think it's great that you made a mistake because we all make mistakes all the time. While Jesse's working on that, Beth, I've got some questions for you. Okay. Amber Wallace wants to know, what are the best books to buy for soap making from scratch? Lye, cow, sheep milk are available to me. Everything I'm coming across for is for Melton for, and I don't want that. Do you have any ideas? Beth, you can unmute yourself. And then if Jesse pops our video back up, we'll answer it at the end.
Can you hear me okay? For some reason, my options are a little weird. Okay. It thinks I'm in safe driving mode, but I'm not driving, so I don't know what that's about. I actually, way before I started making soap, I bought, I think it's called The Art of Soap Making. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I'll have to look up the author. That book scared me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. It's a great book, but it talks about a lot about lye safety. And at the time I had little kids and a little bitty house, and I was really scared of that lye process. It wasn't until later I found YouTube videos that were really helpful, and I'm a very visual person. So seeing them actually make the soap on the YouTube videos, I became a lot more comfortable. So some of the YouTube channels that I would recommend is, gosh, I have to come up with names on the fly. There's
If you can't think of them right now, if you can shoot us a list, then I will, 1, send it to Amber, but 2, I'll put it with our VIP information. And then when I upload it to our YouTube, I'll include that as well. We're also going to give away for everyone that's attending tonight. We have a soap making book that we're giving away. Miranda has it, and I can't remember the name of it, but we've got some that were recommended to us by soap makers.
Yeah, I think using a combination is really great. And then there's also some websites I can give you as well that I found really helpful as far as formulating soap when you're looking at what kind of properties do you want your soap to have? So what kind of oils or butters you're going to use. There is a really great blog post that I still refer to that talks about the different qualities of oils and butters. And so I will give you that link as well. And then
Jesse is ready for us to go. Is that all right if we start? We've got a few more minutes left on your video. Is that okay, Beth?
Yep, perfect.
All right, let's do it.
which I'll show you here in a little bit at the end, what I should have been using. This would have taken just a few seconds, just a zip, 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 and we would have been done. As a new soap maker, the biggest mistake I made when using the correct blender attachment was over blending, and the soap would turn super thick super fast, which made it really hard to get into the mold. You can see using the wrong attachment, it took forever. This is sped up a lot. It was flinging soap batter everywhere. Here's me checking to see if it's emulsified. I was really confused why it wasn't coming together faster. You can see that it is emulsified though, because when I pull up the spoon, the oil isn't separating out from the water. That's what we're checking for. If you don't get it fully emulsified and your oil is separating out in your end result, your water will be sitting on top of your oil. It won't combine, it won't work, it won't make soap. So there it is, all in the mold. And I was confused why it was still so liquidy. It should have still been liquidy. And yeah. This soap gets super hot, so I'm going to pop this into the refrigerator so that it doesn't get too hot and do something called volcanoing, where it kind of explodes out of its mold. But I had to let it sit here for a little bit because it was too liquidy to put in the refrigerator. So I let it sit there for about 15 minutes before I could move it into the refrigerator. So I'll come back and show you the end result when it's done. It doesn't take too long to make this soap. It's going to take a couple hours for it to set up in the refrigerator, and then we'll be back to get it out of the mold. And like magic, we're back with the soap. You can see it's turning a nice white color. It's been about 3 hours. It's out of the box. Now, you see how old my mold is. It's all discolored. With a soap that isn't 100% coconut oil, this would normally sit in its mold for probably 24 to 48 hours before I could take it out. And it would have to cure for 4 to 8 weeks, or maybe even longer, depending on the oils that you used. But this has been 3 hours, and we've got to cut this, or we won't be able to, because 100% coconut oil soap gets hard super fast and impossible to cut. So you can see it's still pretty soft. The ends are breaking here, and that's okay. But it would have been a lot harder already if I had used the correct attachment, which would have looked like this, but I didn't. So you can cut soap a whole bunch of different ways. I have a multi-bar cutter. You can get soap cutters off of Amazon, or you can just use a knife. I typically cut my soap with a 1-inch multi-cutter, but for this demonstration, I'm going to use this crinkle cutter, and it goes through super easy because we didn't let it set up too hard, and it's a nice bar of our stain stick. The soap is so great for washing dishes, getting stains out of clothing, or just general cleaning. You can see, just put here on it. You can see it's still hot through there. That circle is the soap going through a gel phase. But yeah, that's our coconut oil soap. I hope that you guys learned a lot from this. But if you have any questions, please please feel free to reach out. I would love to help you guys.
Awesome. So I know that we're running a little bit behind tonight, ladies. Thank you for being with us and making all of this happen. So Beth, I'm gonna ask you some of the questions that we haven't already answered. So we did that one. Let's see. Mary wants to know, I don't know yet if this info is on the video. She asked a little while ago. Could we briefly talk about water discounts and soap making? I've been making soap for years, super fat at 5 to 15%, but I haven't yet done water discounting. Thanks. Is that something you, oh, there we go.
Yeah, here I am. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't get much into water discounting. When I started making soap, I played around with water, different water amounts. When I first started making soap, I was obsessed with it and I made multiple batches per weekend. That's why I started selling, because my husband said, we are drowning in soap. So really what I did is I kind of came up with a formula and I've pretty much stuck with it as far as the water. So I do, in this soap, I did a 2-to-1 water to lye ratio. In my body soaps, I do a 2.5-to-1 lye or water to lye ratio. I will adjust it every once in a while if I'm using a fragrance oil that misbehaves and sets up super fast. So I don't have like any great knowledge or advice, but I would just say play with it. That's what I did. And I just found something that I liked and that I can pretty easily tweak depending on what I'm doing.
Makes sense. Kim wants to know, can you use RODI water instead of distilled? I don't know what that is, so.
I don't know what that is.
Kim, if you want to message in the chat, you can message in the chat. I don't know what that is. We'll find out. So I'm going to leave that one up. Brenda wants to know, do you have resources where to purchase a soap calculator or other ingredients?
Yeah, so there are free soap calculators online. The soap calculator that I use, I think is the most user-friendly, and it's I did a flyer for you guys with the link to that one. It's an app and also a website. It's called sapanicalc.com. I like how it walks you through tab by tab the information, where the other ones are kind of just a big chart and I find them very overwhelming. But there's lots of free resources out there. And I know that part's really confusing, but it is just something that you have to take the time to understand. And like I said, I would be very willing to talk to anybody that wants to reach out and wants help with the soap calculator. But again, there are some really great videos on YouTube about using a soap calculator. But that was probably the thing that was the most confusing for me starting. I'm a researcher. I research like crazy. And I probably spent a good 3 weekends just trying to understand that soap calculator and how to use it and what the information was telling me. So it is difficult, but if it's something that you're really interested in, it will make sense. You just have to work on it.
That's perfect. Debbie Thomas said, how did you melt the coconut oil? It was breaking up and I missed it. I think that's when you poured the lye in, right? It melted.
Yes. So for this bar, I did the heat transfer method, which is where you just pour your hot lye directly into your oils. I was just using one oil. It was all going to melt at the same rate that way. And so, and you don't have to control your heat as much with this bar since I wasn't adding fragrance oils or anything like that. So I did the heat transfer method. Normally, I use 2 hard oils, which means the oils normally with my body bars. Use 2 hard oils, which means the oils are solid at room temperature, which I use coconut oil and palm oil. And I will measure out my coconut and palm oil. I will melt them in the microwave. And then I wait for them to come down to about 100 degrees. And then I add in my liquid oils, which I use castor oil and olive oil. I add them in, and then I add in the lye, which has cooled to also about 100 degrees.
That makes sense. Sophia wants the exact amount for this soap. Is that a recipe that you're willing to share with us?
Yeah, so the recipe, that's what's hard with the soap calculator, right? So the recipe is just, it's 100% coconut oil, and I used a 2-to-1 water to lye ratio. I can't give you exact amounts because I don't know how big the container is that you're going to be using.
That makes sense.
That's what the calculator tells you. You put in the volume of your container, and it's going to tell you how much oil is going to fill that with how much water you put in, and it's also going to tell you how much lye you need to saponify that amount of oil. So
Okay, so our soap calculator's where it's that makes sense. Okay.
yeah.
Karen wants to know, what do you use 100% coconut for? I do cold pressed soap and thought 100% coconut is drying for the skin, but this was a cleaning bar, so that is
it is very drying. If you can do 100% coconut body bar. Typically on my body bar that has the olive oil and the castor oil and the palm oil, I super fat at 5 to 6%. That's that extra oil that stays in so that you aren't dry. If you're going to do 100% coconut body bar, you can super fat like up to 50% so that you have a ton of coconut oil left in that bar so that it is more moisturizing. For some people's skin, even the 50% super fat, it's just drying. For some people's skin, that's great. It moisturizes their skin and feels great. That's just going to be a difference in skins. But yeah, this cleaning bar is drying to your skin. I use it to wash dishes. So it does get on my skin, but I moisturize right away. I would not want to bathe with this soap. I would not feel great afterwards.
And that's it. Like you said, it's great for cleaning. So I looked up what RODI water was, and it's a reverse osmosis. So do you know if you can use reverse osmosis water?
Yeah, I mean, and I said in the video, you can use tap water. It's just, you're going to have those extra minerals in there. And for soap that you're using for yourself, I think that's fine. For soap that I'm selling, I want to make sure that I know exactly what's in that soap, what's in that water. So I use distilled. I'm not very familiar about reverse osmosis and how that, I'm sure that does clarify the water a lot. So it's probably fine.
That's what I have at home, and all I've done is hot process, but I haven't seen like it be bad. So I'm no expert. I screw things up more than I help them. But all right, Kim wants to know, what are the best ways we can learn to make goat milk soap for fresh or frozen raw milk? And she wants a list of books or YouTubes, but we've already discussed that. So we'll work on getting those informations for her. So we'll do that. Kim, we have another Kim that said, do you need to designate a stick blender, bowls, spoons for just soap making, or can you wash and use the ones that are already in your kitchen?
There are actually a lot of opinions on that. I keep it completely separate because I'm making it for sale. I personally think the biggest risk to using those bowls is not the lye, it's not the oil, it's the fragrance oils. I wouldn't want to eat out of something that has had fragrance oils in it or even essential oils. Those leach into your bowls. If I showed you my bowls, they're like stained from fragrance oils, they're stained from colorants. That's why I wouldn't want to have a dual use bowls. So I just think, to be safer, in my opinion, yes, have separate. I do know soapers that use the same bowls, and that's just kind of up to you and what you're comfortable with.
Makes sense. Joanna wants to know where you bought your soap cutter.
The one I used in the video, the crinkle cutter, I bought off of Amazon. It actually came with like my first little 2-pound mold. I think the mold that I used in the video is a 7-pound mold. So it's much bigger than like the ones you buy off Amazon. My big multi-cutter that I didn't show in the video, but is honestly my pride and joy. I worked really hard to be able to buy it. I got that from Nurture Soap. That's a company here in Indiana that I buy a lot of my fragrance oils and all of my colorants from. I really love that company, and I get a lot of my materials from them.
Awesome. Tanya wants to know, what is super fatting?
Super fatting. So when you understand what the science is behind the soap, and that's another thing I could talk hours and hours about. When you make soap, the oils combine with a chemical reaction with the lye and they saponify. That means the oil turns into soap. It's a chemical reaction. Super fatting is where you add in extra oils that you know are not going to saponify, because the amount of lye that you're putting in isn't going to saponify that extra oil. So super fatting is the extra oil that's left in your soap, and it gives you a more moisturizing experience when you use that soap.
Makes sense. Laura says, do you have any advice? Laura and Elizabeth want to know about tallow. Do you have any experience with tallow?
I do. My neighbor is a farmer, live out in the country, so I've gotten both beef fat, which would be tallow, and pig fat, which would be lard. And my husband and I spent many weekends rendering that down and making soap with it, and it was amazing. It made amazing soap. I will never do it again. It is not for me.
This is very intense, isn't it?
It is a very intense process. It is a very hot process. Our house got very hot. I think if I had a better setup where I could cook it outside, maybe. But I'm a very city girl. I may live out in the country and I may do some homesteading stuff, but I'm not a homesteader. I am a city girl. I did not I did not enjoy cutting that up. If that's something that you enjoy and that you could find joy in, it makes really great soap. But it's not for me. The end result was amazing. I was really worried that the end result would smell like fat. It was great. Lovely.
Awesome. Great. What was the name of your, Sophia says lye calculator again. Do you mean soap calculator, Sophia? I could.
It's lye soap. It's I use Sapani Calc. If you get the flyer that I gave, I have the website.
So all of our VIPs will get access to that flyer at least as early as next week, and it has all kinds of great information. Beth made it for us. She's done a lot of good information for us on that. So we're super. Mary doesn't have a question, but she said there is a man on Etsy who sells really great multi-soap bar cutters, and she got one hit from him in the pandemic. So Etsy's always a good place.
It's probably that. What his name is, like Bud, I think, and my big soap mold. So the one that I show you is not my big soap mold. I have big slabs, and you have to cut it into 3 bars. And I got a slab cutter from him. He does great work.
Awesome. And Kim came back and she said, is the problem with lard or tallow the rendering the fat itself, or the soap making it harder?
No, making the soap is fine. I just hate rendering it.
Yeah.
If somebody out there wants to render lard or tallow for me, I would take it.
Well, I know that Amber and Joanna in the chat have said rendering in the crock pot, which is what I do as well, but it's just a long, hot process depending on your area. So Tanya asked, can you talk about ashing of the soap, and do you use a heating pad?
The soap that I should have grabbed one of the final bars. This soap will ash like crazy. It'll have that dusty film on it, and that's fine. It's a cleaning bar. I don't care. I don't do anything about it. It just is what it is. I don't use a heating pad. What I do with my body bars is I oven process them. So you could not oven process this bar. It gets way too hot. It would explode all over your oven. Don't do that. But if you have a soap that doesn't get super hot when it's saponifying, I actually oven process mine. So I heat my oven to the lowest setting, which I think is like 172. I don't remember. To the lowest setting, I let it heat up, preheat, and then I turn it off and I put my bars in there and they sit in there. They used to sit in there overnight. Now I'm here at I make all my soap in my store, so they may sit in there for days before I get back to them. But that's what I do. It helps cut down on the ashing. Every once in a while, it will still ash. The other thing I do is I spray the tops of my bars with alcohol, that helps cut down on the ashing. But sometimes it just ashes, and I just decide that the soap wanted to be ashy, and I let it be ashy.
I understand that completely. Let's see. Let's see. Can you buy tallow or lard commercially for soap making without rendering it yourself? Yes, I know you can, because I did that before I realized you could make it. Live and learn. So there's a bunch of different places online. You can even get it off of Amazon if you're an Amazon person. So, and then Elizabeth just wanted to share with us that she's rendered fat in the crock pot outside with an extension cord run out the window. So perfect. All right, ladies, I know we ran like 10 minutes long, but you guys had some really good questions. So I super appreciate all you've done. Beth is going to go over to our breakout room. So I'm about to drop the link. Like I said, the breakout rooms are going to be super important. Oh, I just sent it to the wrong people. You guys don't need the link. Let's try that again. Let's send it to everyone. Let's try it. Here we go. So the breakout rooms, my moderators know a lot about soap, so they'll be able to help out. Beth's going to go from room to room and answer any questions you guys may have. So thank you all so much. Go ahead and head over to the breakout rooms. If you don't want to head over to the breakout rooms, one, I'm going to try and change your mind. But two, I will go ahead and put a link for next month's meeting in the chat so you guys can get registered for next month. Beth, thank you so much. If you want to click that link that I put in the chat and send over there, if not, Jessie probably sent you a link for the breakout room. So if she didn't, I will get that to you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that, but I'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Oh, crud. You know what I forgot to do, ladies? You're probably going, so I'm going to do it anyway. I forgot to do our giveaways. I'm just getting ahead of myself, so I'll let Beth figure that out. But I forgot to do our giveaway. So if you have already gone over to the breakout rooms, I promise I will come over and do that. Crazy Julie, what are you doing, lady? What are you doing? We have giveaways. We have stuff to give away. I got distracted with the whole running behind thing, which really isn't a big deal because we got lots of good questions. So tonight, all of our attendees are eligible to win a book about soap making. And let me tell you, I had to write 101 names. We had so many people in there, and then I found a couple of doubles, but we have 101 names on our wheel tonight. Ooh, I should probably make it to where you guys can see my screen. That would be super helpful. Share screen, this wheel, share. All right, hopefully you're seeing it because I can't see you guys, but these were all the names. Here's our full screen, and let's see who's gonna win our book about soap making. Woohoo! Best of luck. Let's see. Justine Ford, you are our winner. Thank you so much. I'll write that down real quick so I don't forget. Actually, I'm just going to take a picture of it because that'll be easier for me. Boom. Okay. Now we're going to stop our share for a second. And I am going to do all of our VIPs that attended last month's gathering I did at the beginning. Let's see, who am I doing now? All VIPs. So if you are a VIP, one, we thank you so much. And we will be doing this gathering for anyone who's a VIP. So it doesn't matter if you attended last month's gathering, you weren't at last month's gathering. If you were a VIP member by midnight that night, I have a $10 coupon code to our new store. So as soon as we do this, and I know who it's going to be, you will get a coupon code, which will be so much fun. There's all kinds of, there's like cell phone covers, there's leggings, there's hoodies, there's all kinds of things over in the store. So let's go back to that one here. I gotta exit out of this one. Here's all VIPs. And let me tell you, people, this wheel is insane. We have so many awesome VIPs. It makes my heart happy. It makes me super happy. Share. Here we go. Because it is over 500 names. So that is awesome. Couldn't even guess. Couldn't guess. Who's going to win? Julia Edwards. Yay! So you, Julia, if you're on here, if you're not, no worries. I will get you that coupon code. And you will get $10 off your purchase at our new swag store. So thank you guys so much. If you haven't seen the breakout room, go ahead and head over. There's the link again, just in case. But go ahead and head over and see how that's going. I'm so sorry I forgot the giveaways. What kind of person am I? Golly.